Man, it's really hot. We should really get some guns out. No, not bingo wings, guns, like Cable's guns. Because he has a lot of guns. Yeah, I'm just gonna get on with the review now. Hello and welcome to a Smurpy video, and today we are looking at Cable and X-Force Omnibus, and here is a beautiful front cover which is based on the crossover event, the Phalanx Covenant, which Cable and Wolverine's series cross paths, leading him, Jean Grey, Cyclops and Wolverine to go on that final assault on the Phalanx. It was like a base or something, or a tenor. I can't remember. I'm loving the white going on here, which is pretty sweet. So the Cable bit is the white bit, the X-Force is the blue bit, and then we have a nice picture of Cable down there as he's kind of leading this volume, as it seems. And on the back we got Until the End of the World, and these are all the covers on there, which is nice. I do enjoy it when they put the covers like this. It's always something that I enjoy, and we've got 30 whole issues in here, and they start with X-Force 32 to 43 and Annual 3, Cable 920, New Warriors 45 and 46, X-Factor 106, Excalibur 82, and Wolverine 85, which is the crossover of the Phalanx story. And it was the same with the Eve of Destruction Omnibus, where you had a kind of scene going on underneath the cover rather than just the cover, so which is very nice. I'm pretty sure this is a cover, but it feels like a scene, and maybe we'll see that scene as I go through this. Very nice picture of Cable there, and Cable and Domino. Here is the talented team, and then pretty much we dive straight into the Omnibus. Now, and I've been always quite honest, Cable and the X-Force series is something that is on my agenda to read. I've never read it before. I've read a majority of New Mutants, and I still need to finish that New Mutants run, which leads into X-Force Volume 1. And then I'd be definitely jumping straight into these. But I feel like I owe the New Mutants justice to finish off that run, which takes half of that team into this. I'm loving the fact that Omega Red is in here. There's Rachel Grey and Kitty Pryde. Some nice stuff going on there, clearly. As always, I do dig the early 90s kind of run. I think, especially for X-Men, I think X-Men had some of the better artists going on. And, you know, I like a majority of artists. I'm never going to pretend to know each one, and I'm probably not going to pretend to know who's writing this and who drew these. Sometimes I'm really terrible in that aspect because I'm so engrossed in the story that I forget to take the time to give credit to the talented people that create these books. And then we got the Phalanx Covenant, which I'll show you what we've had in the past. It's nice to see it here. It would have been kind of cool if they shoved the X-Factor part into this, just to complete it, and then you wouldn't need the Phalanx Covenant, even though it deserves its own books. I almost feel like it should have its own omnibus. I think I've said this before. Picking up some of the issues that lead into the Age of Apocalypse, and then you've just got an omnibus as a whole. So I really did enjoy this. So in terms of the Phalanx Covenant, is probably the only one that I've really read. And the good thing about that was Jean and Cyclops have just come back from raising Nat in the future. And it was kind of a bit interesting, should we say. And really cool. And this is probably when Caliban joins X-Force at some point. And he became one of Apocalypse's Horseman. And maybe this is the story that it comes forefront of that story. But like I said, I need to read this, and I'm really excited. I do enjoy reading old stories that I've never read before. But yeah, there's some nice stuff in here. There's lots of nice crossovers. Oh, that's nice. Oh, wait a minute. That leads into Age of Apocalypse. So that's quite cool. Digging that. Yeah, that's issue 20. Yeah, that's when it goes straight into the Age of Apocalypse series. It's really nice stuff at the back. Some nice covers. Child's Play, I believe. One that I've not read, but there's been premium hardcovers that have been out in the past. That's pretty much it. And inside the dust cover we have the talented team and a bit of synthesis going on there. What's in the book, which is quite nice. I always see them as minor spoilers. And here are the creators, Jep and Fabian, talented writer and artist. Nice picture. Is that Cameron Hodge? I think it's Cameron Hodge. Okay, so first things first, the Phalanx Covenant has a large amount of issues in here, and this was a story about an alien race that tried to conquer Earth 616. And pretty much on here you've got these two issues, and this issue, and I can't remember, that's just an aftermath. And that covers Excalibur 82, Wolverine 85, X Factor, which actually isn't, no it is there, 106. I thought it wasn't there. And then obviously the Cable issue 16. So that's the big Phalanx part in these two books. Okay, so here is the great thing, which I'll talk to you in a minute. So we have X-Force Volume 1, then we have Deadpool and X-Force, which was Volume 2, and then we have Cable and X-Force, which is Volume 3, and you can only see them kind of at this point just carrying on with Cable and X-Force because it makes the most sense. Now, the really cool thing that I love about what Marvel are doing with the X-Force and the Cable series is they are giving us the whole run. It may look a bit weird now with Volume 1 like that, but it spawned into something so much bigger and so much cooler that I absolutely love how this is being presented to us. So first of all, the great thing is that with Volume 1 and Volume 2 and Volume 3, they've kept the traditional comic covers going on. And now this is the bit I kind of wanted to emphasize. So we finished the New Mutants run 98 to 100 and Annual 7, and it's got X-Men Annual 16, X Factor Annual 6, X-Force 1 16, Spider-Man 16, Cable Blood and Metal 1 and 2, which is like a little mini-series. I think it's Wolverine. Don't quote me on that, it's completely wrong, and it's probably the first time they kind of got his own kind of issue side from the seed, so I could be completely wrong. I'm sure there's somebody who will correct me with that. And X-Force Annual 1. Move into the Deadpool Omnibus, which then continues the X-Force run, which is 19 to 31. Bear in mind, in between this, there is the Executioner song, which has the other issues in. And we also have the second annual. Then we get Cable 1 to 8. Now this is where it starts taking its own kind of place and moving into the Cable kind of series. We finish with, because Deadpool's in this, the Circle Chase 1 to 4, Deadpool 1 to 4, New Warriors 31, and Nomad 20. That will be an interesting one, I find, when I read it. And then it spawns into what we've got now, which is X-Force 32 to 43 and Annual 3, so it's continuing. And then we got Cable issue 9 to 20, and then New Warriors 45, 46, and obviously X Factor and Excalibur and Wolverine. So that's what I'm loving most about this, is they are starting to give us a whole run of X-Force and Cable, and it's bloody brilliant. And then it was just a case of bringing in the rest of my omnibuses. So we got Deadpool and Cable. Well, really it's Cable and Deadpool, but they did it this way because they thought it would sell more. And that's the entire run, which is probably one of my favorite runs with Cable and Deadpool. And those two together, it's just bloody fantastic. That's my new word, fantastic and bloody. And I just wanted to show you this. So this is the end of Cable. So they kind of did this really well in terms of this is kind of like a whole story. And it ends in Cable 97 to 107. And then it goes into Soldier X 1 to 12. So we just need to get a whole lot more Cable before we get there. But I believe that we are on the right track in terms of completing this series. And then I just thought I added my Executioner's song, which has X-Force 16 to 18, just to show you how it all looks together. And you could have, I'm almost tempted to have an old X-Force Cable shelf at the moment, because that's what it feels like I should be doing right now. So I'm really happy to have this new omnibus. Like I said, I'm really looking forward to reading this. I hope that I start later in this year. I need to jump on Unlimited and read a hell of a, I think I've got about 40 issues of New Mutants to read. So I'm really looking forward to getting stuck into this at some point and seeing how X-Force began, how Cable began. And because it's something that I probably haven't explored enough in the past. I've mainly just read the core X-Men books or spin-offs, etc. You know, I was a big fan of Cyclops' Utopia and that kind of era as well. So I probably spent more time on that than coming back and reading some of these classic stories that I know they're going to be awesome. So this is a beautiful omnibus. And if you're a big Cable and X-Force fan, definitely worth picking up. If you're an X-Men fan and you probably haven't picked, like me, you haven't read X-Force Cable, maybe it's a good time to start, because I'm pretty sure, I don't think it's too hard to get these two as well. I think it's pretty easy. I know this one's pretty easy. This is probably the hardest to get out of all of them. And that Executioner's song is probably quite hard to get in that version, but you can get it quite easy if you want to just read those issues and see that crossover with Strife, which is quite has a lot of impact on it. So thank you for watching. Follow me on Facebook. My page is SmurredP. Follow me on Twitter at SmurredP. No idea what I'm doing, but I am there doing Twitter stuff. And embrace the geekiness. Goodbye.